Following is a presentation of the National Thoroughbred Racing Association and ESPN.
You're watching Citgo's Belmont Week coverage on ESPN.
On the first Saturday in May, Funnyside refused to yield to the favorite Empire Maker in the Kentucky Derby. 2 weeks later, he dominated the Preakness by the largest margin since 1873. Now Funnyside returns to his home base in New York for the Belmont Stakes and his quest for the sport's most elusive and prized feat, the Visa Triple Crown. It was last accomplished by a firm 25 years ago. Since then, the 8 who came to Belmont with a chance failed by wide and narrow margins. Today, Funnyside faces several talented challengers eager to play the spoiler. Can a New York-bred gelding succeed where so many others have failed? This afternoon, New York's favorite equine son chases racing immortality in the 135th Belmont Stakes. Welcome, sports fans, particularly to our Chilean audience. Welcome to Elmont, New York, Belmont Park, site of the 135th running of the Belmont Stakes at 1.5 miles. They're all crazy for Funnyside, the only one with a chance to go forward in history, become the 12th Triple Crown winner here at the Belmont. Pictures all over the place, placards. There's Funnyside's hoof print right there, signing that. They love this horse, the New York horse, the gelding, first New York bred to win the Kentucky Derby, now trying to go on to be the first gelding to be a Triple Crown winner. And the Sakatoga stable taking the traditional yellow bus on in. There's the ringleader, Jack Knowlton. He comes in, but it's not a party until Gus Williams arrives. Gus Jr., maybe a nephew, something. Looks like there are 2 of those suits out there in the market, it turns out. They're excited, as are the racing fans, even with the weather. It is raining. You can see it there. Temperature dropping a bit. It started out as a fast track, then it went good, then it went muddy. Now it's sloppy. The turf is soft, but weather be damned. We're here for a Triple Crown, or at least the potential of a Triple Crown. And at this point, it's like backing a political candidate. People get emotional about who they back, whether it's Empire Maker, the other favorite in this race, or Funnyside. It means so much when it gets to this level, when on a generic day you say I have the 5 horse. This time it has meaning who you back. Funnyside going after the Triple Crown. Here are the conditions, not just the track conditions, as I said, were sloppy, but they're going for $1 million. But that's just peanuts compared to what's at stake for the Funnyside people, because they got the Visa $5 million bonus attached to that. 1.5 miles, of course, the longest distance. A distance they'll likely never run again in their lives unless they switch to turf, Randy Moss. We've seen 5 now in 7 years going for this Triple Crown. What's different about this one?
Well, just by the very nature of thoroughbred racing and the Triple Crown itself, the odds are obviously against Funnyside. I mean, he's going to have to keep his form, through the Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and now the Belmont Stakes. He's got to run against a horse again like Empire Maker, who may be better than Funnyside. We don't know that for sure yet. And then there's all the other normal vagaries of thoroughbred racing. The luck
Stumble
factor,
at the gate.
just like War Emblem
Yeah.
last year, right? So he's got a lot to overcome, but I will say this, the conditions right now, the sloppy track might actually help him, because some of the horses in this race have never seen anything other than a fast track.
And some of them trying to come from behind, get the mud thrown up and all that. Although Empire Maker did handle him on an off course, that was in the wood. Empire Maker, of course, the leading contender to go after him, second in the Derby. And Empire Maker for so long was talked about as the Triple Crown threat. Now he plays the spoiler today, or tries to anyway.
Both Empire Maker and 10 Most Wanted trying to go from the Kentucky Derby into the Belmont Stakes without benefit of a race in between. Scrimshaw has danced both dances, and the talented Dynaver and Supervisor both new to the Triple Crown chase.
Funnyside had a very fast work this week on Tuesday, 57-4, and that bothered a lot of people, thinking it might have burned him out. Others say no, he's that sharp and he can pull this off.
Just the fact that he worked as fast as 57 and 4 doesn't bother me that much, because he always works fast. He worked 58 and 2/5 before the Kentucky Derby, and that obviously didn't stop him. The one thing that does bother me is the fact that in that workout he went the first quarter mile in 21 and 4/5 seconds. When you're trying to get a horse to relax and go 1.5 miles in the Belmont and cooperate with the jockey, you normally don't want them burning rubber when they leave the starting gate. So if there's any concern about it, it's that.
And interesting enough, it's not the jockey Jose Santos who does those workouts.
It's Robin Smullen, who is the assistant trainer and the girlfriend of trainer Barclay Tack.
All right, here's how the betting is going so far. Earlier in the day, we are coming up now on the 6th race of the day. So pretty soon, these odds start making sense. We said it all along at the other 2 races, like, when are they going to get realistic? Well, Empire Maker at 4 is a steal, so I don't think they've gotten realistic yet. Although there's going to be a lot of sentimental support on Funny Side that's going to drive that down even more than his worth, and he's worth a lot by himself.
You know what we're seeing right now? We're still seeing the remnants of souvenir betting. There are people out there buying tickets on Funny Side just for posterity.
Usually they do that at $2 at a time, though.
Right. They even showed up on eBay apparently already as early as yesterday when they first started the advanced betting. So of course we'll see Empire Maker drop his.
Well, I'll tell you what's strange about that. Supervisor at 12-1. That cannot be. There's a 0 behind that, I believe. Hank Goldberg, what are you thinking about right now?
Well, I'm thinking about a conversation I had yesterday with Bob Baffert. Pretty good opinion that I would think that he would have, and he thinks that Funny Side's the best horse and is not concerned at all about the workout the other day for Funny Side. As he pointed out, he's not a low-level claimer, and he said, don't get sucked in by all that Empire Maker talk. Well, the one thing about Funny Side that would concern me is what Randy alluded to, and that is that quick workout and how it will affect him coming out of the gate. Jose Santos is liable to have a handful of horse, and what he doesn't want to do is start wrestling with him to hold him back. So I think the race could very well be decided there. But hey, Empire Maker beat him on an off track, but he sure ran. Funny Side did a heck of a race in the Preakness on an off track. Guys,
we don't want to see Hank shrugging after the race either. There's never a sadder sight in thoroughbred racing than Hank Goldberg shrugging after his picks didn't come in. NYRA.com, of course, is the definitive website for the Belmont Stakes. Go there and buy a computer first before you do that. We got actual live racing coming up very, very soon. It's the Affirm Stakes, named for the very last Triple Crown winner 25 years ago. That race coming up in 4 minutes. We're coming back in 2 minutes. We're going to set you up real quick for the running. Welcome back to Belmont Park, getting set for some live racing here on ESPN. It's race 6. All these years later, 25 years later, they finally named a race here at Belmont for Affirm, the last Triple Crown winner. And when they did so, they made it for girls. We have a woman in charge of this race. She's Janine Edwards.
Am I out of the picture? Thank you.
Well, they flip-flopped on the gender, but there is a correlation between the Triple Crown and the Affirm Stakes. That comes later on. The highlight will be at about 6:40 this afternoon. And for the fillies and mares in this next race, the best may be yet to come for them as well. We also have another similarity. Jose Santos riding a New York bred. Well, he's also on a New York bred in our race this afternoon. That will be number 9, Sparkling Ava. Well, we've got 4 scratches out of this race, so we've been left with a 7-horse field. Number 2 is Misty Sixes. She's won 2 of her last 3 since joining the barn of Steve Placeris. And then we had a scratch there, one of the favorites. Call an audible for trainer Mark Hennig is in super sharp form right now, and she's done very, very well in the mud. Bobby Frankel scratched number 7, Trekking, the only graded stakes placed filly in the race. She's got the beat as a very talented New York bred who's been ultra consistent this year. And there is Sparkling Ava on the outside after the 2 scratches with Jose Santos on board. Well, P.G. Johnson trains number 8. She's got the beat, who has won 2 of 3 starts in the mud. Jean-Luc Samine has been on board for all 5 starts this year, and she has recorded 3 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd with him in the saddle. P.G. Johnson, also the trainer of Breeders' Cup Classic winner Vol Pony, and this filly was just beaten in her last start by Message Red, the filly that would have been the favorite in this race. So she's got the beat. Looks like she should get a perfect stalking trip behind the 2 pace setters, which should break from the rail. That would be Molico and Misty Sixes. Kenny?
Andy, they're loading now, but quickly, Alchemilla, the 5, is the one you're crazy about.
Well, Alchemilla is the 8-5 favorite, and trainer Shug McGahee, of course, trying to bounce back from that puzzling effort yesterday in the Acorn by Storm Flag Flying, who finished 6th. This one has competed twice against graded stakes company.
Let's not walk over Tom Durkin. He's going to call this race expertly now.
You shall not walk over me. As we wait for She's Got the Beats, who's a little reluctant behind the gate. There's Sparkling Ava. And what a big day it could be for Jose Santos. It's been a pretty good day so far. He's won 2 races on the undercard, trying to get that hat trick here with a 13-to-1 shot that seems a little reluctant at this point. Sparkling Ava. So Jose decides to dismount, and she'll walk into the starting gate. They've opened up the doors on the gate to make it a little more commodious for her. Now they've closed the gates. They're in the gate. Ready for the start here. And they're off. Sparkling Ava breaks on top. Whoa, she threw her head. Sparkling Ava bolted to the far outside. Jose Santos has lost the irons there on Sparkling Ava. As the field moves up the backstretch, it's Misty Sixes who's out there by 2 lengths. Colin Audible is running in second. Moloko third by 2. Alcamila running in fourth. Passing Shot is fifth. She's got the beat. And then a big break back to Sparkling Ava, who had that wild start. Up the backstretch, they're spread out behind Misty Sixes. Colin Audible and Moloko are running second and third. Alcamila is a comfortable fourth at this point. The pace is a good one at 22-4 opening quarter mile. Farther back, Passing Shot is now being asked to pick it up. She's got the beat, still about 7 lengths to make up, and a long lane back to Sparkling Ava, who is languishing now very wide. Midway around the far turn, Misty Sixes still clear. Misty Sixes, Colin Audible. Alcamila has been sent to the far outside, and Alcamila is third, putting in her run now, and she's got the beat, has got the beat. She's made a big move on the far turn and is drawing within striking range of the leaders. Moloko is fifth as the field turns for home. Misty Sixes is tested now by Alcamila on the outside. Colin Audible in behind. She's got the beat, continues a sustained rally, and she's now third. There's a furlong to go. Misty Sixes digs down. Misty Sixes short lead. Alcamila right at her throat ledge. She's got the beat. Third, still closing. They're coming down to the line. A blanket finish, and it is a photo finish. Alcamila, she's got the beat. A nostril apart at the wire. Misty Sixes right there in the 3-way photo. Wow, what a terrific finish here. It did look like Alcamila got a flared nostril in front just as they came down to the line in the sloppy conditions here at Belmont Park this afternoon.
Is flared nostril a new note in the program or in the racing form? I haven't seen that.
I tell you what, Tom has a seat right on the finish line up there, and he's pretty good at calling those photo finishes.
I thought that, well, we're going to see another picture of it right now as they come down if we have the replay.
There is Alcamila right there. That was awfully close. Alcamila ridden by John Velasquez. Sparkling Ava ridden by, not Sparkling Ava, but the other one on the outside. She's got the beat, Jean-Luc Samin.
Still trying to figure it out because these two come to the wire so close together. Our ESPN audience just joining us now at Belmont in advance of Funny Side's attempt for the Triple Crown. This is the 6th race, and you're seeing a very close finish. Too close to call yet. They actually have made the call, have they? The 5. The 5 is the winner, Alcamila, just hanging on at the wire, winning the race name for Affirm, the last Triple Crown winner. When we come back, we're going to make this fully official and get going for real with our United States audience who enjoyed the baseball game. And thanks to all our South American friends who've been with us all the way. Coming right back from the Belmont after this.
This ESPN presentation of Citgo Belmont Stakes Special is brought to you by Citgo. We know you. By Visa, proud sponsor of the Visa Triple Crown. By Long John Silver's, dive into something different. By Budweiser, the best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. By Kawasaki All-Terrain and Utility Vehicles. Kawasaki, let the good times roll. And by Diamond Cut Jeans. Try a pair. They just fit better.
And welcome, sports fans, back to Belmont Park in advance of the 135th Belmont Stakes, where Funny Side's going after the Triple Crown. We just saw a very close race, the 6th race here on the card. Well, some of you saw it. Some of you just saw the last part of it. All of you are going to see more of it right now. Very contentious races. John Velasquez wins for the 3rd time on the card in 6 races. They came into the stretch. The 2 coming late are the ones most involved. Alchemilla, middle of the track, the 5-horse, not in your picture yet. She's got the beat coming very, very late, but Alchemilla hanging on to win by the narrowest of margins over the 8th. She's got the beat. John Velasquez getting up for his 3rd win on this card. That's the margin of victory. A couple of inches there for Alchemilla winning this race. It is official now. The 6th race has gone official. Alchemilla was the favorite going into this thing as they broke. I think $4.90 up front. Exacted with a couple of favorites, $22. Jose Santos, who later will ride Funny Side and try to get the Triple Crown for that animal and all of New York, had kind of an interesting race. Because first of all, trouble getting into the gate, and then breaking from the gate, even more trouble. Randy see going wide there, pulling up.
Yeah, Jose Santos almost got a mud bath there, or worse. He actually lost his irons there for a second aboard Sparkling Ava, but he got them back quickly and just galloped around the racetrack in last place. As you said, I don't know if you mentioned or not, he won 2 races earlier on the card, so he was doing pretty well. But the first race we saw him in didn't turn out too good there for him.
One more look at the actual running of the race here.
Now, Sparkling Ava also had trouble going in the starting gate, and you can see there whatever bothered her leaving the gate there. She was quite agitated there. Sparkling Ava actually owned by Barry Swartz, the chairman of the New York Racing Association, but the boss didn't help him much there.
Well, he had all that good momentum going. People thinking good karma's going. Who knows if this affects anything? At least he knows the track at this point. At least he didn't fall on it. We're coming right back. More live racing from Belmont in advance of the Belmont Stakes.
Following is a presentation of the National Thoroughbred Racing Association and ESPN.
You're watching Citgo's Belmont Week coverage on ESPN.
On the first Saturday in May, Funny Side refused to yield to the favorite Empire Maker in the Kentucky Derby. 2 weeks later, he dominated the Preakness by the largest margin since 1873. Now Funny Side returns to his home base in New York for the Belmont Stakes and his quest for the sport's most elusive and prized feat, the Visa Triple Crown. It was last accomplished by a firm 25 years ago. Since then, the 8 who came to Belmont with a chance failed by wide and narrow margins. Today, Funny Side faces several talented challengers eager to play the spoiler. Can a New York-bred gelding succeed where so many others have failed? This afternoon, New York's favorite equine son chases racing immortality in the 135th Belmont Stakes. And now we welcome everyone on Armed Forces Radio joining us at Belmont Park in advance of the 135th Belmont Stakes. Funny Side trying to be the 12th Triple Crown winner. And it's a huge sentimental favorite, is it not, Randy Moss? Because New York bred, the gelding, the small-time ownership, all that plays into everyone kind of wanting a piece of this horse.
Of all the Triple Crown near misses that we've seen recently, and this is the 5th one in the last 7 years, the 5th time in 7 years that a horse has actually come into Belmont with a chance for a sweep. By far, in my opinion, more attention being paid to Funny Side than any of the other ones.
Well, the last check of the odds showed that people were backing that up at the windows as well. You can look right now, current odds, Empire Maker at 4. If that happens, you know, I don't think that will happen, is all I'm saying. Supervisor won't belong at 12-1. So this is very, very early. You pointed out some of those sentimental souvenir tickets early, too.
Yeah, a lot of people are buying tickets on Funny Side, just $2 tickets, just to hold as souvenirs. They're even showing up on eBay already as early as yesterday when wagering first opened for the Belmont Stakes. So as we see at the Kentucky Derby, as we see at the Preakness, as you get closer to post time for the Belmont, reality will begin to sink in on the odds board there.
All right, well, Visa is putting up $5 million. If Funny Side can win, be the richest gelding of all time. That means we got to hear from Visa. Let's hear from Carl Pascarella right now, looking back.
Hello, I'm Carl Pascarella, President and CEO of Visa USA, proud sponsor of the Visa Triple Crown. 25 years ago, Affirmed came to the Belmont, having defeated his arch-rival Alydar in the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. And though Affirmed was the favorite, many believed that Alydar would extract a measure of revenge. And so the stage was set for one of thoroughbred racing's epic battles on June 10th, 1978.
In front of more than 65,000 fans, two old rivals came to settle a score. The determined Affirmed here to claim the Belmont, and with it, the Triple Crown. His nemesis, Alydar, runner-up in the Derby and Preakness, trying to deny Affirmed his place in history. In a field of 5, all eyes were locked on only these two.
The two are heads apart, and Alydar's got a lead. Alydar put ahead in front, right in the middle of the stretch. It's Alydar and Affirmed battling back along the inside. We'll test these two to the wire. Affirmed under a left-hand whip. Alydar on the outside driving. Affirmed and Alydar heads apart. Affirmed's got a nose in front as they come onto the wire. At the finish, it's going to be dead tight.
Once again, Affirmed reached the finish line ahead of Alydar, this time by a desperate head. And on that day, the running time of 2 minutes 26 4/5 was the second fastest in Belmont history. Owner Harborview Farm, trainer Laz Barrera, and jockey Steve Cawthon celebrated America's 11th Triple Crown winner.
25 years have passed since Affirmed's stirring victory, the longest drought in Triple Crown history. We at Visa hope that Funnyside can end that streak today and give us the long-awaited opportunity to present the $5 million Visa Triple Crown Challenge bonus.
Carl Pascarella actually carries the $5 million in cash in his wallet, and he'll hand it out right after the race. All right, since Affirmed, 8 have tried. 8 have tried. They've all failed. Here comes Funnyside. Why have they all failed before him? There's been a variety of reasons.
Yeah, various different reasons. Of course, they are as esoteric as a safety pin, which was widely blamed for Spectacular Bid's defeat
or a stumble
in
in the break.
1979. He got up in the morning and they found a big safety pin stuck in his foot. That certainly couldn't feel good. Pleasant Colony physically was going the wrong direction. Ali Sheba, Sunday Silence, both outrun badly. Silver Charm narrowly outrun. Real Quiet even more narrowly in a photo finish, losing by a nose. Charismatic was injured in the stretch, and as you said, War Emblem stumbling, leaving the starting gate. A whole host of different reasons why, and Funnyside trying to avoid the bad luck factor as well as the talent issue of, is he good enough?
I was going to say enough about losers, but Hank Goldberg is with the guy who wants to add to this list and create yet another upset. Hank?
Absolutely. Wally DeLassy, who trains 10 Most Wanted. There was a lot of talk about 10 Most Wanted going into the Derby, and now he's back in the Belmont to give it another try. And what made you decide to come to the Belmont, basically, Wally?
Well, I thought he had a good excuse in the Derby. He didn't run his race. This horse, I'm impressed with this horse, and I think he's a very nice animal. Circumstances, you know, we had a bad trip, and when that happens, I'm just giving him another chance.
Well, we're going to take a look at the start of the race and see what happened to 10 Most Wanted. And from what I understand, he suffered a back injury coming out of the gate. Is that right?
That's correct, right. Dr. Northrup, right after the race, about an hour and a half after the race, diagnosed it as a back problem. And sure enough, we had a chiropractor there that could help us, and we realigned the horse, and he's fine now. Hopefully it won't happen again.
He just never got into the race in the Derby?
I don't think so. Pat Day couldn't believe it. He was so confident the horse would run a big race. And, down the backside, I mean, he didn't mind the first part of it because he did lose a lot of ground, of course, but he didn't mind that because he just felt so confident in the horse. But when he asked him to run, there was nothing there.
Well, when you took him to Chicago, I know that Pat wrote him a little differently in that he didn't go out to the lead. And come back. This time he kind of rated and ran from a little bit off the pace. How would you like to see him run this afternoon?
Well, I think because of the competition, you can't be too far behind him. You're not going to be able to make it up down the stretch unless you're fairly close. So I just came from talking to Pat in the jockey's room, and I feel that he's going to have to be within 3 or 4 lengths of him because you give him any more than that, it's going to be hard to catch him. So if he likes to slop, which he did the other day in his basic morning training, the exercise writer said he loved it. and he runs to that liking of the slop, maybe we'll be a little upset here.
Well, you showed a little liking for slop just to come out here and do this. Thanks so much, Wally.
Yeah, no problem. Any old time.
Okay, back to you, Kenny.
All right, guys, thanks. We're going to meet the entire field. The Belmont field. It's a short one, but it's a rich one. Coming back from Belmont Park right after this break. The rain continues to come down.